It's time for the one and the only show. It's the Luke Howard Show Live. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Morning, everybody. It's another show, would you believe? Wow, Wednesday the 8th of July is the date today, and I hope you're all well, and I hope your day is going so far good. So far. I'm here, bright and breezy, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 10 till 10:45-ish. But today's show, would you believe, it's another live show. Wow! We're here till 10:45, of course, our usual time. So don't worry if you come on and you think, oh, I must listen to the Luke Howard Show recorded. Today's show and yesterday are not live, they're both recorded. So I just thought I'd let you all know that those shows are recorded, of course. So, wow, it's a bit of a miserable day today, though, a bit miserable. It's going to be raining and being soggy and wet and raining all day. Oh, God. So if you are going out today, I would suggest to take a brolly. Take an umbrella, and I'm sure you'll be okay. But just don't walk, in the wet weather, because you'll get absolutely soaked. So if I was you, I would just take an umbrella. I haven't got an umbrella. I'm going to be going out later on today, nipping out later on today. So, I'm not going to be taking an umbrella, so I'm going to be getting absolutely soaking wet. So, do take an umbrella, because it's going to get very, very wet today. I mean, it's alright now, but I know it's been raining all night. So sit back, relax, of course, make yourselves a cuppa, and because especially at this time, of course, Britain's best radio show. So, let's start off then by talking about what's in the news today. So, I've done my research, and what I've found out is that there was a piece of news today about, I'll tell you what it's about. It's about a job scheme, okay? It's because the coronavirus, Rishi Sunak, is to unveil kickstart job schemes for young people, like myself, of course. Wow! So, the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, will announce a $2 billion kickstart scheme later to create more jobs for young people. Now, the fund will subscribe this is a 6-month work placements for people for universal credit, and this is aged between 16 and 24 years old, and they are all at risk of long-term unemployment. Now, Labour welcomed the move, but said the government had failed to rise to the scale of the unemployment crisis. Now, Mr Sunak is also expected to announce a temporary stamp duty. This is a holiday due to stimulate the property market. And every single day sounds like a holiday at the moment anyway. But this would accept the first, this is £500,000 of all property sales from the tax. Now, I know estate agents, and I know how they feel right now. If there is an estate agent listening out there, I know how you feel. So the BBC Newsnight's political editor Nicholas Watt has said that the Chancellor may also introduce a temporary VAT cut to help the hospitality sector, which is like food and industry sort of thing, and which has been hit hard in this pandemic. Now, the Chancellor's statement is expected to come out at 12:30. So it's 12:30 today, in around about 2 hours, and I would say 2 hours, 20 minutes-ish sort of time. Okay, but that's 11:30 our time. I don't know what BST means, but I know GMT is Greenwich Mean Time. This is after Boris Johnson faces a Keir Starmer at the Prime Minister's questions. Now, it will include the jobs pledge alongside a $3 billion green fund and boosts for apprenticeships as well. So in the wake of the Prime Minister's New Deal is to build after this coronavirus outbreak unveiled last week, would you believe? And Mr Sunak promised that he would deliver the economic update to tackle increasing fears of mass unemployment, and particularly among young people as well. So the Treasury said that the Kickstart scheme would be part of this 3-point plan for jobs to help Britain bounce back from coronavirus. Now, hundreds of thousands of new high-quality subscribed jobs will be created, and the government said. Now, I looked online. I know this has got nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but the other day, I looked online. I didn't look online, actually. I went out, and I was going for a walk, and I still saw people in parks. Still saw people in parks. People aren't listening to the rules. People are still going to the parks. They're young little kids. It was packed with people. I'm sorry, but to walk past a park that's full of people is not right at all. When they said parks are not opening at the moment, but the playground's open. People have just gone into our local playground and basically demolished the tape and just gone in and let their kids play on the slides and stuff. I mean, it's just not right at all, and I don't think that's right. But anyway, going back to this, because vouchers of up to £5,000 for energy-saving home improvements as part of a wider £3 billion plan is to cut emissions. Now, pledge is to provide 30,000 new traineeships for young people in England, and it's giving this is their firms £1,000 for each new work experience place they offer. So this is for each Kickstarter job. The government will cover the cost of 25 hours and a week of the national minimum wage, and this is £4.55 for under 18s and £6.45 like myself for 18s, which is me. I'm 18 to 20, of course. That's me. 18 to 20, that's me. And olds, which is 8.20 for 21 to 24. So I'm in the middle. I'm 18 to 20 because I'm 18 years old. So I'll be 18 to 20, of course. So unemployed will be able to top up that payment if they wish. So the government said that it would allow young people the opportunity to build skills in this workplace. It's also to gain, I would believe, it's also to gain experience and to improve their chances of going on to find long-term sustainable work. The scheme will also open for applications in August this year, which is next month, with the first jobs expected to start in the autumn this year, so September onwards, until December 2021, which is December next year. So this is also with the option of being extended. So it will also cover England and Scotland and Wales, would you believe? And the government has said that it would also provide additional funding to Northern Ireland for a similar scheme. Wow. But Scotland, Wales, and I would believe Northern Ireland are all also calling for, this is physical rules. This is to be relaxed and to allow, I believe, them to borrow more and spend unused capital funding. This is in address and the emotional challenges of this economy. So the government is looking now to be a second phase of this crisis when the worst stage of this health aspect has passed, okay, and they hope the economic recovery can begin. So but job losses have begun, with this is barely a day going by without an announcement from a household name, and they are shedding staff. Now there really is many of those who have been paid by the Treasury and will find their job that doesn't return. The focus of the Chancellor's statement is therefore jobs, jobs, jobs. Leaders have said that they will certainly be a long list of proposals from this Treasury. It's not a small matter though, because they do something like I think it's a cut slab duty cut, is that right? I'm sure it is, and a VAT, which is in some sectors economic in French astic. This is spending, okay? Spending to provide 2 billion. I mean, I like saying it in that way. 2 billion to subside jobs for young people, of course. So, but they are certainly much more that I must actually put out there that they are certainly much more of a off the box actions, and the kind of drastic steps is to Treasury that look at this start of this crisis. The Chancellor has actually previously acknowledged young people and could be the worst affected by this crisis when it comes to unemployment. But they are the age group that's most likely to be on this government's furlough scheme, which is actually set to end in October this year. Woo! Ow, I just hit myself. Already, between the start of a lockdown though in March and May, the number of people aged 24 and under were climbing universal credit rows by 250,000. That's like 250,000 sort of thing. And almost 500,000. But in the Commons on Wednesday, he's expected to say that we also know that the youth unemployment has a long-term impact on jobs and wages, and we don't want to see what happens to this generation. But Labour's Shadow Chancellor, Annalisa Dodds, has said that this scheme should help many young people to access work. That's great. but said that the government had not yet done enough to address the threat of mass unemployment. She called on to it as to extend the furlough and self-unemployed schemes, and it's also to create a tailored support for older people of those living in hard-hit areas. So, the acting Liberal Democrat leader, Sir Ed Davey, has told BBC Radio 4's Today programme that the Chancellor was right to helping young people, but the scale of support is just not good enough. And the SNP is calling for the job remuneration scheme to be extended as long as all four nations of the UK need it. So, okay, let's go to proper training then, shall we? Because the Director General of the CBI, Dame Cameron Fairbairn, she said that the announcement could see the government lessening the potential scaring impact of the pandemic for the next generation. But she also said that businesses and the government is needed to work to deliver the Kickstarter scheme and simply and at a speed, adding that there can be no time, of course, and lost in preparing young people who are, well, entering one of this toughest jobs markets and we've seen in decades. Paul Johnson, the director of the Institute for Physical Studies, has said the scheme would, well, encourage employers to take on those most at risk during the crisis, but it could also be a result in creating jobs that aren't really jobs, or a push other people cut of work. But Francis O'Grady, which is the General Secretary of the Trades Union Congress, has welcomed the support for young people, but said that unions will be checking to the small print to ensure that every job provides proper training and a bridge to steady enjoyment. The National Chairman of the Federation of Small Businesses, this is Mike Cherry, has appealed to the government of ensure smaller firms that could benefit from this scheme, adding that small businesses must be left waiting to be behind big corporations, then they could be get people to work now, of course. So if you are listening today and you have got a small business, do all of that and get young people to try and work for you. You know, try come in. But I mean, here in Buntingford, there's only little shops, and a lot of them have got everything covered, really, sort of thing. So it's quite hard at the moment. So I think we'll talk about one more story. Shall we talk about let's talk about J.K. Rowling, because she's joined 150 public figures awarding over free speech. Some 150 writers, candidates of activists, including authors J.K. Rowling, Salman Rushdie and Margaret Atwood, have signed an open letter denouncing the restriction of debate. They say that they applied a recent needed recurring on racial justice, but argue that it has furloughed stifling of open debate. The letter denounces of folk for public shaming and accreditation and a briding moral circumstance. Several recognitions have been attacked for comments and that accused offence the free exchange of information and ideas that the lifeblood of liberal society is daily becoming more constructed, says the letter. The US indigenous terminally admit the feminist Gloria Steinem. This is a Russian chess grants Mr. Jerry Custerby and author Malcolm Gladwell also put their names to the letter, which was published on Tuesday, which was yesterday, in Harper's Magazine. The appearance of Harry Potter author Rowling's name among the scribblers comes after she recently found herself under attack online for comments that offended transgender people. Now, her fellow British writer Martin Ames also signed the letter, and it also says that we uphold the value of robust and the even caustic counter speech from all quarters. But it is now all too common the here calls for swift and severe retribution in response to the gratuity of speech and thought. The letter comments the discriminatory punishments and meted out of by the intellectual leaders conducting panicked damage control. We have a video here now of him speaking the other day in a meeting.
You know, this idea of purity and you're never compromised and you're always politically woke and all that stuff, you should get over that quickly. The world is messy. There are ambiguities. People who do really good stuff have flaws. People who you are fighting may love their kids. And, you know, share certain things with you. And I think that one danger I see among young people, particularly on college campuses, Malia and I talk about this. Yara goes to school with my daughter. But I do get a sense sometimes now among certain young people, and this is accelerated by social media, there is this sense sometimes of